around.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Chair. I have a question here. Now, I don't know if it's for the author or anybody that's here to support the measures. Talking about the measure. First of all, I support it. I think it's great. We do need it. I've always supported it. Our biggest issue has been equity, making sure that our part of the county gets their fair share, and it's always been a battle. One of the things that I know that you haven't identified what local return rate we're going to have this time around. It could be 15%, it could be 25%, like the first bond we did back in the 90s or 80s. I mean, we, obviously our local cities, which I represent on many of them, they want a higher local return because they want to be able to fix their infrastructure.
Everyone does.
Right. So one of the things that I've actually asked for is in the past bonds that we've done, have we been equitable? How much money has been spent outside of the west side? I haven't been able to get those figures yet. Would love to know if it's 50-50 or is it like 70-30? I mean, what is it? I've been able to get like maybe amount of projects, but some projects could be as simple as a street light or something minor, but over there they're getting a subway. And it just doesn't, it's not equitable. So I would like to know what we based on, because I want to make sure moving forward, especially on this one particular one, it's going to be an opportunity for us we might not have for a while. And I want to make sure that those projects that in our particular respective areas, whether it be the GO line or the ECO line, or it be local infrastructure repairs or improvements, I want to make sure that the money is shared equitably throughout the county. You have two COGs, whether the gateway cities or you got the San Gabriel Gateway or the San Gabriel cities COG that actually are always constantly trying to get their fair share of resources. So those kind of concerns that I believe that my particular district has, and I'm sure many of the senators that live in those outside districts feel the same way. So I'm hoping that as we move forward, and one quick question, are we going, like once these projects have been itemized or have been listed, are they going to come back to us to vote on this, or are we going to just send out an empty bill and then we're not going to see it again?
No, we're not going to itemize stuff because this is going to be a local process, a bottom up. Your concerns are real, and I think it's contingent on the advocacy at the local level. That means you, as an elected official representing your geographical area, are going to have to step up and make sure that with regards to equitable funding, that you fight for your areas and you have representation in those areas. But this is going to be organic. This is going to be at the local level. We're not going to load up on a Christmas tree for the voters to have something that's prescripted for them. So I think that a lot of this negotiation is going to take place at the local level. You should have a voice. You should be at the table to advocate for your geographical area, which I think is important without a doubt.
Is this bill going to be filled in, or is the county going to just go ahead and itemize it and they're going to put it in the ballot? We're not going to have anything to do with it?
No, I just refer back to the Metro. I think you want to engage with LA Metro specifically. You have your representation there. Right. You have 4 members of the County Board of Supervisors, 4 members from the City of Los Angeles. You have an appointee from the governor of the state of California, the Caltrans director for District 7. Plus you have 3 other city members to Glendale. I forget the other 2. I have it here at the top of my head. That is the governance structure right there. Right. That is a structure that you'll have to engage with. Right,
and that structure usually it outnumbers the gateway community. The COGs are outside of the city limits.
You're going to have a loud voice.
Well, maybe it starts here, because how are we going to move a process that they themselves don't ever want to create a balanced approach? I mean, we're here to advocate on behalf of our respective districts, and sometimes we set these up and we put them on there and say, yeah, we're going to support you. We want this money to come back to infrastructure, and yet we get left out. And not that we don't have a loud voice, it's just the makeup of the actual MTA might be equitable, where it's, west side versus the east side. We don't have that equitable balance. We're outnumbered. So it's not that we don't have a lot of votes. We just don't have the right voting number on that one respective committee.
We appreciate your concerns.
Yeah.
Thank
you. So I hear Senator Mendoza's concerns. I also understand that at the end of the day, we've got to move forward with this without tying it down with all sorts of specific and micromanaging from the dais today. I have an equally compelling narrative from my part of LA about all, as we all do, about all the folks moving around, particularly given the job center. So I think right now, what we need to focus on, and I have a lot of respect for the gentleman who sat here and talked to us today about certain concerns he has about the tax, but the fact of the matter is this is something that has a very high threshold. It requires a 2/3 vote of the population. It's not an easy vote to get, and yet anyone who spends 5 minutes in the Los Angeles area understands what an enormous transportation crisis we continue to have that is sapping at the economic vitality and quality of life of our residents. And I'm a proud principal co-author because this is something that means so much to the people of my region and so many of the senators here on the dais. So I very, very enthusiastically and proudly move the item.
Thank you, Senator Allen.
Okay, other questions from other senators? Just comment from the chair. Historically, the first half-cent sales tax was from Santa Clara County. And all these issues about who should set the list of projects, how do we do the expenditure plan, all those kinds of things. And I remember as a city council member actually coming up and testifying and listening to the advice of Senator Alquist, who was chairman of the Senate Finance Committee. And Senator Alquist said, well, I think it's very important that we, the legislature, don't meddle in setting the list of projects. We ought to have the local process, the regional process, and then our job after they approve the measure is we should enable them to empower them to do that as local agencies. Then our job after that is to try to facilitate with Caltrans and whoever, what other agencies that we can influence the rapid and complete construction of as many of those projects as quickly as possible. So once the voters approve that, our job is, that's the voters' will. They approve those projects, and our job is to facilitate the rapid and quick construction as possible, and including blending and what I call blending and braiding of funding, and trying to help collaborate with them in terms of completing the projects that can be done as quickly as possible, supporting project management, because it's not about just oversight and approving the money, it's about actually constructing. So we should emphasize at least as much emphasis on quick, adequate construction of the projects so we can complete them as quickly as possible. And it's been very successful in 20 counties. We'd like to have additional counties do half-cent sales tax and other transportation taxes as possible. So Senator De Leon, I think this is a very wise measure. It allows the locals to develop their plan. And you can hear all the concerns about which projects. I think that's very important. But once they approve that, our job is to help them make those projects become a reality as quick and as fast as we can possibly do. So that's my commitment. If the voters of Los Angeles are wise enough to approve the measure, that's what I'm committed to doing.
Thank you.
Is to make these projects happen.
Thank you, Mr. Chair.
We should all be committed to that once it happens. Okay?
Thank you, Mr. Chair, for your.
So I urge an aye vote on this.
I want to thank you, Mr. Chair, for having a transportation hearing as well in downtown Los Angeles, actually at the Metro headquarters, I believe. I want to thank you very much for doing so in my district. I want to thank my colleagues as well. And I think all input is very important. I think we want to make sure that there is an equitable distribution of the resources for all the vital transportation projects such as the Gold Line, for example, and extending eastward, towards, I believe, Claremont, which is the projection, or at least the desire, if you will, and projects on the west side with a tremendous amount of congestion in the valley and elsewhere. Very important projects as we move forward. Senator, Ben Allen had underscored a couple of points, which I think is really critical. Obviously, the economy, it goes both ways. It impacts the economy severely with regard to goods movement and just getting folks to one part of the city and county to another part. When it takes a couple hours to get to point A to point B, that hurts the economy tremendously. When it's goods movement, perishable goods, we have to get folks and goods moving in an efficient manner. When a mother herself is stuck in traffic, and she's fearful of who's going to watch her son or daughter because she doesn't have the resources to pay extra. that sends the fear of God into a parent. For those who are parents on the dais, you know what I'm talking about. It just sends fear down your spine. Who's going to take care of your child because something that's out of your control because of traffic. On the flip side, with regards to economy, if we can have much more efficient transportation corridors, obviously getting goods from one point to another point has a positive impact on the economy. And with these infrastructure projects throughout the county, we put people to work. Jobs that are real, jobs are tangible. What we're doing here, colleagues, is we're giving people of LA County a choice for them to make. They've made a few choices. They have decided to be supportive, and just recently, in 2012, they decided not to be supportive, just by a fraction. But we're giving them that choice, if you will. I don't think Howard Jarvis would like to be stuck on the 405 or the 101 freeway. I think if you endure the traffic congestion today, I think Howard Jarvis would be leading the charge for this tax. Time is money, and money is time. So we want to do this in a very thoughtful manner. If folks are looking for chorizo, they're going to have to go to a carniceria, for that on this measure right here. We have to be thoughtful, we have to be intelligent, we have to be equitable. But we also have to do this in a way where we make sure local folks have their voice heard strongly. So I appreciate, Senator Mendoza's comments, but we have to make sure that the process is as such where all the voices are heard strongly in all regions of the county. With that, Mr. Chair, as well as colleagues, I respectfully ask for an aye vote.
Thank you, Senator De Leon. If there's no other questions, we'll call the vote.
Yeah, we have a motion already.
We have a motion.
Senator Allen.
Senator Allen made a motion. Call the roll, please.
The motion is due pass and refer to the Committee on Governance and Finance. Senators Bell?
Aye.
Bell, I. Canella? Aye. Canella, I. Allen? Allen, I. Bates? Gaines? Galgiani? Galgiani, I. Leyva? Leyva, I. McGuire? McGuire, I. Mendoza? Mendoza, I. Roth? Wykowski? Wykowski, I.
We have 8 votes. We'll leave it on call for any absent members.
Excellent.
Thank you.
Yes. Oh, he's not. Thanks.
Okay.
Okay.
Members, thank you, and audience, we will proceed to list the calls in file order. So we'll start with item number 1. Item number 1 is Senator Leno's bill, SB 364. We call the roll, please.
The motion is due pass and refer to the Committee on Judiciary. The current vote is 5-4. Chair voting aye. Vice Chair hasn't voted. Senators Canella? Canella, no. Galgiani? Galgiani, no. So you've got 5-6. So
The vote is 5 in favor, 6 opposed. The bill fails. And without objection, the reconsideration is granted as requested by Senator Leno. So go to item number 2 is SB 7, Senator Wilk's bill.
The motion is due pass and refer to the Committee on Appropriations. The current vote is 8-0. Chair and Vice Chair voting aye. Senators Bates? Aye. Bates, aye. Galgiani? Galgiani, aye. Mendoza? Mendoza, aye. That's out 11-0.
That bill is out on 11-0 vote. We'll go to the next item, item 3, Senator Monning's bill, SB 344.
The motion is due pass and refer to the Committee on Appropriations. The current vote is 8-0. Chair and Vice Chair voting aye. Senators Bates? Aye. Bates, aye. Galgiani? Galgiani, aye. Mendoza? Mendoza, aye. Bill is out 11-0.
That vote is approved on 11-0 vote. We'll go to the next item, item 4. This is my vote, my bill, SB 431. Senator Bell.
The motion is due pass as amended. The current vote is 8-0. Chair and Vice Chair voting aye. Senators Allen? Aye. Allen, aye. Galgiani? Galgiani, aye. Leyva? Aye. Leyva, aye. Bill is out 11-0.
That vote is out on 11-0 vote. We'll go to the next bill, Senator Hall's bill, SB 510.
The motion is due pass and refer to the Committee on Public Safety. Current vote is 8-0. Chair and Vice Chair voting aye. Senators Bates? Aye. Bates, aye. Galgiani? Galgiani, aye. Mendoza? Mendoza, aye.
That vote is out 11-0. We'll go to the next bill, Senator Cannell's bill, SB 564.
The motion is due pass and refer to the Committee on Appropriations. The current vote is 10-0. Chair and Vice Chair voting aye. Senator Mendoza? Mendoza, aye.
That bill is out. SB 626, item 8, Senator McGuire's bill.
That's been dispensed with.
Oh, we dispense with that, so we'll go to item 10. 10 is Senator Hernandez's bill, SB 719.
The motion is due pass as amended and refer to the Committee on Appropriations. The current vote is 9-0. Chair and Vice Chair voting aye. Senators Bates? Aye. Bates, aye. Mendoza? Mendoza, aye.
That bill passes 11-0. Senator Mendoza's bill 11, item 11 on the agenda is SB 760.
The motion is due pass and refer to the Committee on Environmental Quality. The current vote is 9-0. Chair and Vice Chair voting aye. Senators Bates? No. Bates, no. Galgiani? Galgiani, aye. So that's 10-1. It's out.
That bill is out on a 10-1 vote, and we'll go to the last item, item 12, SB 767, Senator De Leon.
The motion is due pass and refer to the Committee on Governance and Finance. The current vote is 8-0. Chair and Vice Chair voting aye. Senators Bates? Abstain. Gaines?
He's not here.
Roth?
Okay.
So I guess you can see that bill is out. 8-0.
That bill is out on an 8-0 vote, and we have
The consent.
the consent calendar is item 13 solely. It's SCR 30, Senator Hill's resolution.
On the consent calendar, Senators Allen? Gaines? Galgiani? Galgiani, aye. Leyva?
Allen.
So you've got 8 on the
You don't want to vote.
Allen, aye. So that's 9-0 on the consent.
That vote is, the consent calendar is passed on a 9-0 vote.
And that's it.
This meeting's adjourned. Thank you very much.